people don't understand queer, it is not my business to educate them.
Right. Do you want to go first?
Okay, so I'm actually in between because I'm a teacher, I feel like कुनै कुरा चाहिँ inform गराउनु is your responsibility, especially if you're more, if you are older. Tara, I agree that it is not, I mean, like we go through all these experiences. We have our own childhood and all of these all of these challenges that we go through. On top of that, we also take this responsibility to get ourselves heard or get ourselves understood. Straight people, for example, a guy never has to explain why he is straight or why he likes to play football or why he likes certain games. In त्यो केसमा चाहिँ because I agree to this in terms of not having this responsibility thing, because it's a lot of burden. You already go through so many burden. Why take one more burden to explain to your uncle or your mama about what you are? I mean, you are okay the way you are, and then eventually if they like you or if they care about you, they should also have equal effort in understanding to each other. So it's not completely just our responsibility to explain what we are.
So I agree with the prompt because queer community ma ta ma ekजना व्यक्ति हो and community ma ma bhanda very different धेरै छन् हैन, and I myself do not know all of it. So कसरी मैले चाहिँ अर्को मान्छेलाई एजुकेट गराउनु, अनि जुन बेला हामी सायद रियलाइजेसन हुन्छ, we come to terms with who we are, त्यो समय कति त हामी झन् अलिक यङ उमेरमा हुन्छौँ, अनि त्यो यङ उमेरमा चाहिँ almost other people sometimes come to us as if we are the best well-known experts of the queer community, but a lot of the times we can only speak for ourselves and our journey nita. And I also am agreeing to this because more, especially as a blogger, as creating content and coming to dialogue with so many people, Nepali community or UK ko patni yaha pani kati samay samma chahi I always thought यो मेरो एउटा responsibility हो, यो मेरो एउटा जिम्मेवार हो हैन, अनि मैले मान्छेलाई भन्नु पर्छ, म एउटा उदाहरण हुनु पर्छ, and then it's so tiring and it's so heavy as well. And almost like maybe मेरो journey is alikati different because everyone asks तिम्रो कतिको गाह्रो भयो etc, and the thing is I had a relatively easier journey, so sometimes I'm just like wait shit, am I not like I don't fit the mold of, or maybe that's not the mold. तर जुन तरिकाको people want the sob story नि, and I didn't have that हैन, and it's almost like, and I always have to be like but मेरो journey is very different. And then I remember मैले एउटा TV मा LGBTI को literally LK हो, GK हो, BK हो त्यो भनेको थियो, and my friend watched it रहेछ and then said तिमीलाई बोर लाग्दैन, like why do you feel like you have to explain all of this, कस्तो झ्याउ लाग्दो काम है भन्यो क्या. And I said हो यो मेरो काम पनि हैन, but also the thing is कहिलेकाहीँ यो मेरो काम हैन भनेर बसिराख्यो भने चाहिँ झन् यो डायलगमा नै आउँदैन, because अलरेडी हामीलाई कम्युनिटीमा नि एकमुष्ट पारेर छ, तर कम्युनिटी भित्र नि कति धेरै तलमाथि छ है. तर अल्टिमेटली अहिले चाहिँ म कुन पोइन्टमा आयो भने तपाईँ जस्तो व्यक्तिले मलाई सोधिरहेछ भने तपाईको अलरेडी एउटा माध्यम र मिन्स छ to educate yourself, so why are you asking me हैन, and I may not even be the best person either. अनि त्यो चाहिँ I think a lot of the times outside of the community people are a bit too lazy, frankly speaking. They're lazy and they don't do their own homework. Yeah.
मेरो पनि it's a mixture of both of your points. हुन्छ नि एउटा त के भन्छ already we spoke about in the last prompt, representation धेरै छ के अहिले हुन्छ नि. So again people have the means to educate themselves if they're actually interested in knowing, हैन. अनि also I think you can tell हुन्छ नि कोही मान्छेलाई मान्छेसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि like how much they actually want to understand you अनि how much they're just हुन्छ नि making small talk or हुन्छ नि trying to कसो भनौँ like irk you हुन्छ नि केही भन्छ कि केही गर्छ कि ह गरेर हुन्छ नि you can tell the difference so you know how much energy you have to put into explaining yourself to a person which first of all again why do we need to explain ourselves a straight man doesn't need to हुन्छ नि अनि त्यही अर्को पनि like म चाहिँ I came out pretty early like around 6th 7th grade हुन्छ नि त्यो नि can I name drop the school very conservative Indian medium school near zoo so के भन्छ basically हैन त्यहाँनिर yeah it wasn't like त्यो safe space भन्न मिल्दैन थियो क्या because त्यो हुन्छ नि obviously एकदम one the young people अनि त्यतिखेर त्यस्तो representation नि थिएन हुन्छ नि but then I was out त्यतिखेर I was pretty out and what would happen is people would text me अनि के भन्छ ask me हुन्छ नि like how did you figure stuff out यताउता भनेर अनि in the moment हुन्छ नि त्यतिखेर I was just happy to have someone to talk to हुन्छ नि someone okay I'm not the only queer person जस्तो हुन्छ नि but then that relationship can turn parasitic very quickly के हुन्छ नि where a person is still figuring themselves out and you're still figuring yourself out हैन codependency बढ्न सक्छ के त्यसमा हैन so again हुन्छ नि since we discussed in the last prompt as well a lot of people are figuring themselves out एकदम new नि त अहिले हुन्छ नि so त्यस्तो एरियामा पनि again हुन्छ नि your experience can't be the same as everyone else's so the advice you give may not fit everyone as well हैन and you don't want to be responsible for ruining someone's life हैन अनि मलाई चाहिँ what I feel like is त्यो you can tell if a person genuinely wants to know more about your story so त्यसमा चाहिँ भन्ने you give your के भन्छ opinionहरु अर्को चाहिँ one त त्यो उनीहरुको intention थाहा पाएर भयो अर्को चाहिँ I look at the demographic as well हुन्छ नि like you mentioned it's in people who have access to mediaहरु उनीहरुलाई त you can brief मा म चाहिँ यस्तो यस्तो हो अनि के हो भन्यो भने ए there's this show that talks a lot about it त्यति मात्रै भनि पुग्छ हैन but then when it comes to like my family or relatives उनीहरुकोमा चाहिँ one त if it's going to be toxic I don't engage हैन but then म अलिकति confrontational मान्छे नै छु by nature so I try to explain stuff even though I know it's going to be अलिकति waste of time भनेर but then त्यो in areas where I know that I can make a difference by explaining who I am or what the community is, even generalized parama because the exposure is if they know me personally, then that is an amazing place where I can tell them my community so that they have this point of reference. I know this person, I know Aditi, so I guess हुन्छ नि अरु क्वेयर मान्छेहरु स्टेरियोटाइप त्यस्तो हैन होला यताउता भनेर त्यो it gives the community अलिकति more कसै भनौं त्यही point of reference जसरी so त्यसमा चाहिँ definitely हैन भन्छु but then it's such a burden sometimes.
Yeah, I think I want to add to this we can you could realize we should take it as a choice. Okay? Do I want to explain to this person? So rather than take it as a burden, situation like that, if you take it as a choice, then you have that freedom to express yourself or to make yourself heard when you want to. So yeah.
All right. On that note, hamro ekjana disagree please agree जरा join gonna request गर्छु.
So the reason why I disagreed in this prompt is like I kind of got like the prompt of like why you guys agreed in this prompt as well. But for me, I think looking at like community level, looking at my profession as well. So I feel like and like I was hearing you guys speak as well. I think we right now kind of live in like a really sex society okay? And everything that has got to revolve around the ideas of like sex, sexuality, it's like a very taboo subject. And if like we don't talk about it, if people don't talk about it, and there are certain stories that don't come out of it. And I know like from the perspective like why should I be the one to educate other people about it? So and I do get that perspective as well. But like earlier I think right now where we are standing at like early Amruma पोलिसिजहरू रिफर्म भएको अनि लाइक अलि बल्ल पनि हल्का जुन पनि कुराहरू भइरहेको छ मिडियामा चेन्जहरू भइरहेको छ इट्स बिकज लाइक पिपल देयर आर पिपल लाइक टकिङ फर अस कि त्यो भएर पनि हो इट्स नट लाइक यु हेभ टु बी द पर्फेक्ट रिप्रेजेन्टेसन भन्ने नि हुन्छ इट्स नट द्याट इट्स काइन्ड अफ लाइक यु हेभ टु स्पिक यर ट्रुथ यु हेभ टु स्पिक यर ओन लिभड एक्सपिरियन्स भन्ने है एन्ड यु हेभ टु टिच पिपल यु हेभ टु लाइक एजुकेट पिपल बिकज लाइक हाम्रोमा चाहिँ इट्स काइन्ड अफ लाइक इभन दो द पोलिसिज आर रियली फरवर्ड थिङ्किङ हाम्रोमा चाहिँ एजुकेसनमा चाहिँ यो आएको छैन नि त कुरा देयर इज नो करिकुलम बिङ मेड सो अब हाम्रो त कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि हाम्रो आई थिङ्क एभ्रीबडी क्यान लाइक रिफ्लेक्ट ब्याक अपन देयर ओन लाइक हुन्छ नि सेक्स एजुकेसन क्लासहरू त सबैले याद गरेर हुन्छ नि इट्स लाइक बिकज पिपल आर सो अफ्रेड टु टक अबाउट द्याट एन्ड देयर आर लट अफ लाइक थिङ्स द्याट आर ह्यापनिङ द्याट सुड बी नेसेसरी टु स्पिक अन इट कि त्यो कुरा चाहिँ भाग नहुँदाखेरि चाहिँ सोसाइटीमा अल्टिमेटली इट ह्याम्पर्स द सोसाइटी इन इट्सेल्फ होइन अनि त्यो कुराले हुँदाखेरि पनि अनि सेक्सुअलिटी टर्म अल्सो कम्स अन्डर द्याट सो पिपल लाइक के लाइक सोसाइटी लाइक्स टु लाइक label us, like bundle us up into a same category. Okay, so त्यही गरेर हुन्छ. But like if we educate them, we don't have to be the perfect. Like हुन्छ नि मेरो एकदमै अब मेरो if I'm like a cisgendered like homosexual, होइन, I cannot speak on a trans experience, but like I can speak on the indifference, the bigotry, and like the prejudice that a person can face. होइन. Plus हाम्रो कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ I feel like हाम्रो community as a whole, queerness is like it's kind of like हाम्रो gender पनि it's kind of like on a spectrum होइन. Plus it's very intersectional. Okay, so एउटा दलित queer person को story अनि अब if a person is kind of from like a privileged background उनीहरूको पनि there's various intersectionality अनि उनीहरूको different कुराहरूको differencesले पनि धेरै कुराहरू we can speak up about it. So indifferencesहरू how community looks at it, how society looks किनभने अब एउटा if let's just say if a person is like trans अनि they are अब यो चाहिँ मैले देखेको चाहिँ छैन तर if they are trans and मैले देखेको छैन भन्दा there is like this very famous trans के अरे I think she's a businesswoman. She's from Thailand and she owns kind of like a media network. अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ अब wealth and affluence ले चाहिँ society को perspective चाहिँ कसरी change गर्छ त एउटा identity लाई लिएर when a thing becomes like really taboo तर success, financial success or like society मा if you establish yourself होइन त्यो success ले गर्दाखेरि पनि perception कसरी change गरे हुन्छ अनि त्यही कुरामा चाहिँ गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ I feel like the more you educate people because there's no solid foundation that is based off of our own lived experiences होइन. The more you educate people you don't have to be the perfect representative but like the more you educate people from my side मेरो spectrumबाट के हुन सक्छ अब मलाई पनि धेरै थाहा हुँदैन I'm constantly every day I'm getting educated on like my own journey and like my own community त्यो पनि हुन्छ and I think if you can speak up about it I think that would be always better.
I think कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ के पनि feel हुन्छ भने because I have some people, a lot of closeted people who message me and unarla already it's hard because they're in the closet and they're looking at a day when it will be easier and then unarle त्यति बेला नै तिमी त walk मात्र गरिरहेछ crawl मात्र गरिरहेछ but they're already telling me one day म come out गरेपछि I'm going to do something for the community भन्छ क्या and I'm like baby please take a step first क्या हैन किन त्यस्तो जिम्मेवारी लिइराख्ने हैन अनि त्यो कारणले यो त सबै बिस्तारीको कुरा हो नि त and I think because sometimes we do see people who occupy social media or various and they're out speaking about various queer advocacies and so on that I just don't want young people or people to feel that yo unarko जिम्मेवारी हो भनेर चाहिँ क्या but उनीहरु if they're just happy whether closeted or whether open to just two people or everybody that's fine they don't need to go and educate everyone khalko it's now time like okay what are you going to do khalko because half the time sex को बारेमा हामी कुरा गर्दैनौं होला openly तर sex को बारेमा सबैजनाले top 10 मा all the porn sites are coming up नेपालमा पनि ban भए पनि हैन अनि त्यहाँदेखि half of the things that we see have all sexual references to it and innuendos so topic त आयो नि त तर maybe त्यसको साथमा त्यो एउटा rational र dialogue त missing छ अनि त्यसको जिम्मेवारी पनि ओके हामी one by one मान्छेहरुले गर्नुपर्छ कम्युनिटीजले गर्नुपर्छ तर आई फिल दैट त्यो पजल्सहरु फिट हुन बाँकी छ तर टपिक्समा त आई फिल लाइक समटाइम्स वी एज सोसाइटी इज सो छाडा बट वी डोन्ट एक्सेप्ट इट खालको टाइपको क्या हाफ अफ द थिङ्स द्याट वी सी कल्चरली नै यो सबै प्रमोट भएर आएको छ हैन and it's almost like maybe त्यो राम्रो dialogue is missing अनि त्यसको लागि चाहिँ please educators do your thing हामीले अलिकति उयो मात्र गर्ने हो but not about it's a lot of volunteering work and let me tell you it's a lot of volunteering work from like the age of 18 and after a while I'm just like what just because I'm gay doesn't mean I need to like spend more time telling other people how to go and half the time let's be honest you can see unarko आँखा को connection ले whether it's actually going in or not because you're telling somebody gender भनेको यो हो sexuality भनेको यो हो भन्दाखेरि they're like and then already अर्को question and so it's not worth your time at all
they're not listening they're just waiting so they can speak just अनि tokenize गरिदिन्छ again, like you said, we can't generalize our experience with everyone else's. So how can we educate a mass on that? I do agree with you, Dr. Samundra. Funny.
I think it has got to do with my profession. So that's why I disagreed.
Tell us your profession.
Yeah, I'm a medical doctor. Yeah, and I try to kind of like advocate for queer health as well. So it's my profession like I'm an artist and a writer because of I think my profession. I feel like people like the responsibility it kind of feels kind of like a burden as well. Okay, त्यो गर्दाखेरि के बोल्नै पर्छ म नै आउनुपर्छ त्यो टोकनाइज गरे so like it's kind of like आउँछ नि त मान्छेहरु you are the queer person so speak about your गरेर आउँछ नि so कहिलेकाहीँ त उलाई बोल्नै मन लाग्दैन नि त I don't want it to be from that perspective. I want it to be from a perspective where you can make them like उनीहरुले के सोधेछ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ like आफ्नो lived in experience बाट चाहिँ just you can just like speak your like truth or like speak up about it type वाला मात्रै के अब if you don't want to speak त्यो पनि completely fine and valid. You are like completely fine and valid because like not everybody अब हाम्रो चाहिँ मलाई के लाग्छ from this conversation I feel like sometimes कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ I feel like every queer person becomes kind of like an unintentional advocate. के रे advocate यो हुन्छ नि यो के रे activist भन्छ के unintentional activist भन्छ के where they have to like advocate for their like rights but like त्यस्तो चाहिँ हुनु चाहिँ हुन्छ त्यो चाहिँ मलाई I've seen त्यो parallels of that story as well हैन so मैले चाहिँ के भन्नु मात्रै खोज्छु भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ आफ्नो like journey को कुरा गर्दा हुन्छ and if there is any like misrepresentation and if there is anything you feel like no that's wrong उनीहरुको knowledge मा त्यस्तो wrong छ like if you want to कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ force feed चाहिँ गर्नु भएन it's like because like if you try to force feed something and if you try to talk about pronouns and like you know gender identity expression सबै गरेर उनीहरुले अब फर्स्टमा अब सेक्सुअल जेन्डर को डिफरेन्स थाहा छैन नि त्यो सबै हेभी टर्म्स आएर त force feed गर्न थाल्यो नि they'll also get like really एकदमै के रे अलि रिप्रेस नै गर्न खोज्छ के त्यो कुरालाई चाहिँ अनि they'll अलि करे डिस्टेन्स गर्न खोज्छ के त्यस्तो कुरालाई I'm not talking from that perspective त्यो भएर तर आफ्नो like lived in experiences हरुको आफ्नो like कस्तो एक्सपिरियन्स छ मलाई कस्तो चाहिँ हाम्रो आफ्नै स्टोरी हो नि त so you're the author or narrator of your own story so if you can just speak about your own personal experiences हाम्रो everybody को त्यो के रे एक्सपिरियन्स चाहिँ more enriched हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ के by telling your own truth and speaking your own story मा चाहिँ त्यस्तो लाग्छ
Also, to the people who are freshly coming out and they feel like they have this heavy burden of doing something for the community, be yourself and live your truth. That is more than enough, because you're existing there. That's already a win for the community.
And that, I think that itself, you know, you living your life itself is an explanation. I think एउटा कुरामा चाहिँ responsible हुनुपर्छ. You know, if something is wrongly represented, त्यो बेलामा चाहिँ you should at least have that चाहिँ म यो चाहिँ wrong हो, right चाहिँ यो हो भनेर त्यस्तो सिचुएसनमा चाहिँ correction गर्नु चाहिँ could be and that is